What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the FloGrappling Show, aka the worst show on the internet. As always, I'm Trey Robinson. We got Joey Gilps right there, Uncle Reed right there, Big Slack Barrett on the ones and twos, and then calling in from parts unknown is Dante Leon. Everybody give it up for Dante.
Dante!
What's up, Dante? What's been going on, man? What have you been up to?
I've been preparing for CJI. I think kind of like the rest of the jiu-jitsu community, whether they're watching or competing in it or they're involved in the training camp. I think it's probably one of the most immersed camps preparations for the jiu-jitsu community this year with so many athletes and so many teams. So kind of just like everybody else, I guess, preparing for the big show.
Are you stoked to be on another team event like this? I feel like it's kind of like a fun dynamic, you know, the whole team jiu-jitsu thing. It seems to be kind of picking up more and more. Is it fun to prepare with the whole Daisy Fresh squad for this one?
Yeah, absolutely, especially considering that we're all on a team. Like, not only are we just a team of guys that we accumulated from other teams or other relationships, other friendships that we've made, we're actually a legit team. So we've been together a long time. We've all known each other 5+ years. And to be able to all prepare together, coming from the same home base, under the same coach, under kind of the same training for all those years, to be able to come in and represent in this team event is really cool.
Yeah, so I saw you guys have been at Westside Barbell's facility or something, right? They built like the pit walls and all that. What's that been like?
So cool.
Yeah, so after ADCC last year and CJI, they were really motivated. They thought everything was super cool. They've always been above and beyond to help us prepare in our strength and conditioning and physical recovery, everything like that, everything that has to do really with everything outside of jiu-jitsu training. So they really thought it'd be cool to put some mats down. That was an idea that they had for a long time. And then after CJI, they kind of saw the way that the sport was going and they built a pit. So that was cool. We got the right dimensions. We got walls all the way around. So a lot of gyms you'll see will have like 3 or 4 panels. It'll just be kind of like one wall, but we got the full 4 corners, a full pit. It's like right around the exact dimensions where it's hard to get in and out of the thing. It's so high up, but yeah, it's perfect, man. It was great to be there for a week, just training with everybody, getting ready. And I think the pit is, it's definitely a game changer. It's not like a cage wall. It's not like a ring. It's very, very different. It poses a lot of different challenges than any of those other venues.
Was training at Westside with the pit and everything, was this your first time kind of doing jiu-jitsu with the pit walls like that? And also, I guess, like, what's just like the biggest difference using pit walls versus just a normal flat mat?
Yeah, so like if you just have a flat mat, you're kind of in a good area if you're on bottom or on top. I mean, there are times that being on the outside of the mat can be detrimental. Especially like if you have a submission and it's an open mat, the guys can roll out of it. But in the pit, if somebody rolls into the wall, it's like really detrimental for the top guy. If he's in a submission, it can be really detrimental. If you get forward momentum on a takedown, you're pretty well going to finish it no matter what. It's not like a cage wall where you can kind of like bounce off the wall or post on the wall, use your back on the cage or the fence to kind of defend and use that as an element of defense. It's not like that at all. I mean, if you get pushed against the cage wall, you're pretty well getting taken down. It's a 45-degree angle, so it's a lot different. We've been training in it for a while, but it was cool to have the whole team here using that. I know at Daisy Fresh, they have their own kind of like makeshift pit that's kind of like on one side, one section of a gym that they bring in, and a lot of the other teams have that as well, but I think it's rare to have a full pit to train in.
Yeah, definitely pretty unique. That's pretty sick that Westside built that all out and everything. You guys are getting to train there. I want to ask you another question, though. This one's off topic. Your skin's looking great, man. You're kind of glowing. You got a real soft exfoliation look going. You got a new skincare routine or anything going on?
It's funny that you say that, bro. My girlfriend's going to be so hyped about this segment of the show. But, yeah, I've been using some skin moisturizer twice a day. I feel like I'm getting old. I got this crease right here on my forehead, and I hit 30 years old, so I'm basically a dinosaur in the sport at this point. So I got to do something to stay young.
Yeah. The girlfriend put you on game. She gave you the full routine and everything.
It was all my choice, man. Honestly, I saw her in there shopping. It was one of these Korean skincare kind of stores, and I walked in, I saw some stuff, and I was like, maybe I need a starter kit.
Nice.
It's paying off. It's paying off.
Yeah, definitely paying off, dude. We had to talk about it. Yeah, expect Dante Leon to show up at CJI too. Just absolutely glowing, just the most buttery skin out there in the pit you've ever seen. But
when I was in Aiga, when I was in Kazakhstan, Giancarlo and I were sharing a room, and he's like, "You're way more into grooming than you used to be." And I'm like, "Bro, we're 30 years old, man. You better get on the train quick, or you're gonna get left behind."
Just putting all the grapplers onto skincare routines. We're gonna like next ADCC, we're gonna see every dude with just extra bags, just full of moisturizers and creams. Nice, man. But how has it been? Have you had that kind of there's 5 of you, right, competing for at CJI? So it's you, Max Hansen, Brandon Reed, Michael Pixley. That's all of them, right? Yeah, that's 5. Has the whole squad been there training with you at Westside, or how's that been going?
Yeah, they were there all last week. We did Saturday to Saturday last week. And then they went back home. They went back to Southern Illinois and came back here to Toledo. So the 3 of them are training together consistently all the time. They're all living and training in the same place. And then Max and I are living, training in the same place here in Toledo, Ohio. So even though we're not together like all the time, we have the ability to link up quite often, probably more so than a lot of the other teams. If you look at a lot of the other teams, a lot of them are really preparing kind of individually and kind of piecing together. So being able to link up and have that open form of communication and have that relationship that we have has been really beneficial. And, everybody was looking good. Everybody was using the amenities that Westside provided between the gym, between the recovery, sauna, ice baths, all the recovery tools that they have, and then the pit, obviously. So it was a really good camp all around, allowing everybody to keep up on their own regular training, on their diets, whatever needs that they have. Everybody has different needs training, so all of that, and then having that pit there to prepare for the uniqueness of this event.
Is Westside's in Columbus, right?
Yeah. So it's about 2 hours away from where we're at here. We train there every week. So we get at least a session in a week at that pit, combined with the other work that we're doing on our own at our other gym. And then we get all of our programming done by Westside, as well as we get into Westside and we train there between strength conditioning and jiu-jitsu. We train there every Tuesday.
Gotcha. Can you find Tony Paco's pickles in Columbus, or do you got to just stock up in Toledo and just bring them with you?
You'd probably find it somewhere, but you gotta get them in Toledo if you want the real ones.
Yeah, we were talking before you joined about that was one of my favorite moments from the day in the life we did with you was the Tony Paco's pickles. And then at the next Who's Number One, we had like a fan question thing where we asked the crowd what Dante's favorite pickles are. And everyone was just like, what is this question? And I was like, yeah, threw a deep cut on you guys. You got to know about Tony Paco's, dude.
That's right, man. That's right. Yeah.
Nice.
That's the Toledo state. Every time I travel and somebody's like, oh, you live in Toledo? They're like, Tony Paco's. I was like, hell yeah. You saw my video.
Yeah. I'm a big fan, of Tony Paco's pickles now. I'm trying to get them imported down here to Texas. But how does a team like you guys, whenever you're squatted up, the whole squad's there, how do you guys prepare for something like Quintet rules? Do you guys talk about the strategy of like who wants to go out win or anything like that? Because it's a little bit more of a game with a Quintet thing, where you can try and just knock people out. You can send the big guys first, a little guy or a smaller guy who can try and take a couple people out. How do you strategize that at all?
I think that's a huge thing. I think strategy, teamwork, different things like that, the things behind the scenes really are going to come into play a lot more than what people think. I think with team events, the public looks at, this team's stacked and this team's stacked and that team's stacked. But a lot of times the most stacked team doesn't do very well. A lot of times the most stacked team doesn't really pan out to do as well as a lot of people think because of strategy, because of teamwork. I think going in as a real legit team is really beneficial for us. we obviously want to win just like everybody else wants to win. There's $1 million on the line, but we're a team. We know how to function as a team. We know how to work as a team. And on and off the mats, we have great relationships with one another. So we're going to be there for each other. And that really counts in a team event. When we look at it, if it goes a full 8 minutes and both guys are basically out, it's not necessarily a draw, but it's a draw, meaning that nobody stays in and is verified as a winner until after the event. So to look at that, I mean, teamwork's going to come in huge. There could be somebody on another team that's extremely dangerous and he gets taken out. He goes 8 minutes and he's out. And then, there could be mismatches between teams and somebody could get really hot and end up submitting 2 or 3 people in a row. And then that's game, So teamwork, strategy, picking the right guys, putting them in at the right time, making sure everybody's ready to go when we plan on it is a big, big thing. I think that's what can really level some of these teams that people look at as the underdog. I think it can really level things out when they have proper teamwork.
Definitely. You guys got any? I don't want to dominate all of the questions.
I have a few questions. We've been talking about Westside Barbell. First off, Dante, for people who might not know what Westside's about, obviously super legendary gym, worldwide respected. Can you kind of let people know what Westside is about, maybe even like what the Conjugate method's a little bit about?
Yeah, so the Conjugate method is basically a method that Louis Simmons, who started Westside Barbell, kind of invented. It's a way to train it's basically a way to train that is not standard. When we all looked at lifting, even me, for example, when I was introduced to lifting, it was pretty standard to be in like Western periodization where you kind of do the same things over and over. You have some repetitions, you have some heavier lifts, but you kind of have a detraining effect because you don't have an ability to train maximally while training for speed. And the Conjugate method really focuses on training max strength and dynamic effort or speed training, and combine into one so that you have a program where you can increase your strength, you can also increase your speed, increase your athleticism, and you're not in a program where your reps are super high, so you're putting on a ton of weight, or that you're maxing out all the time, similar to a Bulgarian method where you're burning out very quickly. So for me, and for a lot of people who have done it, it's a very adaptable system. You can really tailor it to whatever needs that you have. You can really tailor it to whatever sport that you play. And it's been really beneficial to me. It's been able to satisfy me. I love being in the gym and I love working out. I love lifting weights. So that part's great. It's been able to allow me to get stronger while not putting on a ton of weight. It's allowed me to strength train and weight train while I'm even cutting weight for some events. It's allowed me to use it while I'm maintaining the same weight to move up in divisions and fight bigger people. So it's been the most adaptable training style that I've come across, and it's been the easiest to adapt with and to use. And since being with Westside and being directly involved with them and having them take over my programming, I've really seen a lot that starting out, it was a powerlifting gym. That was Louis' interest, to produce really strong, really giant people to break world records in strength sports. But in the last, I would say, part of Louis' life, and then since he passed on and Westside now, it's been fantastic. It's been really focused for athletes and athletic training. So even when Louis was around, a lot of athletes would use the program. A lot of professional football, baseball players and professional strength coaches would come in and learn the methods and use it and carry it on. And, even now I've had discussions with Major League Baseball coaches that use the Conjugate method. And, it's cool to see that we all have some similarities now. They're very different athletes from me and jiu-jitsu athletes, but we share kind of the same program, same system that we tailor make to fit our needs as an athlete.
Incredible, legendary. And you kind of touched on there how you're somebody who's really known for your strength, and you're known for now over these last few years going up and doing really well in the absolute, obviously medaling at ADCC absolute, unbelievable. Winning no-gi pans up at like super heavy, unbelievable. How much of an advantage do you think it is for your team to have a guy like you who's able to just like go up and fight heavyweights, and size is really not as much of an issue as it might be for other guys.
In this event specifically, I think it's huge. I've proven that I can have success against pretty well anybody, any size, and any rule set, which I think is rare. I think I'm probably I think I'm honestly probably the only guy that does that. I know there's some other people that can move up weight classes, but to move up 40 and 50 pounds is very rare. I think I'm really the only guy who does something like that. So it makes me a lot more useful. I can be put in against a lot of people. I can be put in against people my size or smaller, and I can be put in all the way up to the ultra heavyweights, as I've done before. So, excuse me, it makes me a lot more adaptable. It makes me a lot more useful. And, when we talk about strategy and teamwork, that comes into it big time. There might be a certain big guy who maybe I have to go in there and take him out. There might be a certain little guy that maybe I have to go in there and take him out. It makes me very adaptable, and depending on what team we go against, it makes me able to be placed in there however's best for the team. And, I've proven that I'm very reliable in those scenarios.
Definitely. Yeah, go ahead.
Throw one more out there. Dante, I know you've had a lot of, nobody stays more active. You're always fighting. You fought all these top names. If you only got to fight one guy at CJI, is there one name you're really motivated to face out of all these rosters, or just anybody can get it?
Yeah, I like the thought that anybody can get it. There's a lot of guys out there that I haven't gone against. That like somebody like Felipe Pena is just such a legend of the sport. And it would be hard for me to ever get a match with him, because I could never get a match with him on who's number one. I could never just like ask to fight for the heavyweight title. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. If it was an open class, maybe I could go against him, but him coming near the end of his career, I think it's going to be less and less that I have a chance to go against somebody like that, but in this tournament, though, it could very, very well happen. It could very easily happen. So a match like that will interest me. But, I like to stay with a mindset that I'm ready to go. I don't know how this bracket's going to play out. I don't know what team is going to go. I don't know what team we go against, who's going to get hot, who's going to go out, who's going to, maybe somebody from the team gets really hot. I got to go out there and shut them down. And it could be a small guy. It could be a big guy. So, my mindset going into this is anybody can get it, but a match, somebody like Felipe Pena would be, really cool. That's a match that is like an all-time match. When people ask me, would you want to go against like a Marcelo Garcia or a Braulio Estima? I put Felipe kind of in that class. He was killing people at the highest level when I was like a blue belt and purple belt,
That would definitely be an incredible one to see. Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah, and I was going to say, dude, you messaged Ricardo enough just in the Instagram DMs, he might give you a WNO heavyweight title shot. I don't know. Just you send enough of those DMs. But, obviously that's one aspect that I think makes this CJI, or really like the Quintet rules, so kind of fun and interesting, is like there's so many different elite grapplers on all these squads, and we really have no idea how all the matchups are going to go and everything, that we could get some crazy matchups. But I was wondering if you have someone on the Daisy Fresh squad, that you think has the potential to maybe go on one of these crazy runs and kind of make like a huge, 3-4 match run, wipe a squad, something like that. Is there anybody that you're predicting kind of could, clean somebody out for Daisy Fresh or something?
I think Jacob Couch could do that. Honestly, Jacob Couch is extremely dangerous.
That's the one I forgot.
He's been kind of on the low lately, as far as he hasn't been as active as he once was. There was a time where you saw Jacob Couch all the time. You saw him competing a lot, but behind the scenes, he's been competing quite a bit. He's been getting in a lot of cash bracket tournaments and getting into some IBJJS and things like that. So he's been competing quite a bit. But he looks great. He's super, super dangerous. If he gets into his positions, he can finish anybody in the world. And he has a very efficient game. He's somebody that I could see staying in for 2, 3, 4 rounds and submitting those people. He's not a guy who goes out there and is going to just like dogfight every single round, and by the time he gets to the second or third round, he's just completely gutted. He's somebody who is very technically sound. He gets to his positions. He has extremely good leg locks, a great closed guard. He's very dangerous with upper body attacks. So I think I could see him getting in there and getting some wins in some short rounds too. I think he could get guys out of there quick.
Definitely. Another guy I want to ask you about is Michael Pixley. How was it training with him? Did you you take him down at all? Did he throw you on your head at all? How was training with Pixley?
If I had my choice, I would never, ever stand up with Michael Pixley, to be honest with you. In training, you're kind of forced to stand and do those things with people. But if I had my choice, I would never stand with the guy. He's scary as all get out. The side of Michael Pixley that I've seen in training, I don't know if the public has seen that side in competition just yet. He's got crazy potential. He's got limitless potential. He's another guy that if he gets to his positions, there's nothing you could really do. If he locks his hands on any kind of front headlock, I think he's putting you away, whether you're a small guy or a big guy, whether if you're tough or not. He's one of those guys like Jacob Couch. He gets to his positions and he can put you away. He's fantastic. Obviously on the feet, he's great. And I think in the pit, he's going to be even more dangerous. I think he can put guys on skates better than anybody I've seen. His hand fighting is incredible, so I think he can get guys against the wall. I think he can get guys moving in circles and really, really, use his wrestling effectively to get to his positions. He's very hard to take down. He's very hard to score on. He's extremely hard to do anything to, really. If he doesn't want to be in a bad position, he can get out. He's a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Yeah, and Pixley's a guy to me that obviously he competes a lot, but he doesn't compete enough for my own fandom. I want to see Pixley all the time competing and doing stuff. So I am excited about him being in the mix with this because he could potentially get some crazy matchups as well. So I think that'll be fun to see. And then another thing I want to ask you though, we've been asking different CJI competitors this because we're looking for somebody who's willing to be the first ever competitor to never stand in the pit, to slide in on their butt, scoot all the way across, and just completely do the entire match without ever standing in the pit, even if they win, just getting their hand raised on their butt. And Daisy Fresh has a few guys who could fit this mold. Max Hansen, potentially, Jacob Couch. Yeah. I know you have a well-rounded game. We see you stand sometimes we see you sit. So I'm just wondering, do you think there's a Daisy Fresh member who would be down to be the first person to never stand in the pit, not for 1 second?
Honestly, no. I don't think so. I think everybody's gonna start standing. I think with you're looking at all the different guys you're going against, all different scenarios. You might be in there, you might be in your third round, you might just be shot, and you might be tired, and you might not want to get off your ass. That could be a time, but I think depending on who we go against, we're going to need to mix in a lot more of our jiu-jitsu than just that. Max has a great guard, and he's predominantly a leg locker and guard player, but he's got really good passing. And if he goes against somebody who he is faster than, he's going to look to get on top. If he's going against somebody his size, he's not going to be afraid to get on top. Same with Couch, same with me. So in those scenarios, I don't think there's a person on our team who would not stand up. I don't think, even if you look at somebody like Levi will still try and sit up. Usually it's to the back, but if Levi was in the tournament, I'd say he'd be your man.
Fair enough.
If only.
Is there one team that you're kind of hoping you guys get matched up against?
Max kind of went out and said the Team Europe, if he could get matched up first round with anybody, he kind of called out all of the Euro misfits. I don't know if that factors in.
No, Max is on a kick of calling people out, and I think that Team Europe has a couple of guys on there, like Owen Jones and Max have been going back and forth a little bit, so I think that kind of fuels Max's decision on that, and I think that would be a great team to go against, honestly, first round, second round, wherever it falls. But as far as who we go against, I don't see a team out there, and that's the sad part about it, honestly, is I don't see a team out there that's easy. I don't see a team out there that if we go against that we're just going to landslide victory. I'm very confident that we can win. I'm very confident that we can get a lot of subs, especially if it's against Team Europe. I don't see us as being, our backs against the wall, and there's a lot of guys on there who are really going to beat us up or anything. You know, I don't necessarily think that, but it's definitely not an easy team. They have a lot of world-class talent there. And then when you go, you know, down the line, you don't really see a team that's easy to deal with. Even 10th Planet has some dogs in there, and they also have some guys that are extremely hard to put away and that are extremely, extremely good in their position. So, you know, going down the line, I don't see a single team that's easy. It's kind of a tough choice because you're kind of picking between, you know, all these teams that are going to be super tough, and you don't know who's going to show up on the day of the tournament. You don't know the preparation they're making. Maybe Team Europe, you know, they might not be as strong on paper as like a New Wave or an Autos, but they might be doing their homework behind the scenes, and they might have kind of the same mindset we have, and they're ready to use that teamwork to beat these higher, you know, profile teams.
And I know you're running up on time, but I just wanted to ask you about the kind of main event of the weekend. You know, I know you're familiar with Gable Steveson. I know you've fought Craig Jones in the past. Just giving your thoughts, your read on this kind of crazy match and how this one's going to play out.
Craig's so good, you know. That's what people forget a lot about Craig, is because he fucks around so much. Everybody thinks he's kind of either past it or, you know, and in a way, I guess he is a little bit. You know, he obviously doesn't train with the same focus that he might have at one time, but the guy's amazing at jiu-jitsu, and he has a great mind for the sport. I don't think he's coming into this match without a plan. I think he has a lot of plans and a lot of tools that he's working on to be able to deal with somebody like Gable. But I think until you get in there with somebody who's an Olympic level athlete, Olympic gold medal athlete, you don't know. And he's a big guy, and he's extremely athletic. He's obviously going to be in shape. His jiu-jitsu shape and his jiu-jitsu training, you know, that'll be put to the test. We'll see how he is, but I don't think it'll be easy. I don't think it'll be easy by any moment, by any stretch of the imagination. I think Craig drinking Coronas and sitting by the pool and everything, it could be for social media. It also just could be, you know, what he's doing for his training camp. I don't know, but I hope he doesn't take it too lightly, because, you know, getting beat by a guy who just does wrestling and doesn't do jiu-jitsu would be rough. You know, even somebody like Pat Downey has a lot more experience doing jiu-jitsu between training and competing. Literally never seen Gable compete. I've seen very, very few sessions of Gable training. So, you know, obviously jiu-jitsu wise, Craig has a huge advantage, but Gable's just a mountain of a man, and he's going to be tough to deal with regardless.
Yeah, it's been a lot of Corona and whitey tighty content from Craig recently. This dude, I don't know if this dude has one pair of whitey tighties that he's busting out for all of these like photo shoots, or this guy's just loaded up with the fruit of the loom.
I hope he bought a 6-pack, because if you wear tighty whities all the time, bro, it's not hard for those things to get some discoloration. So I hope he bought a value pack at Target or something.
For sure. But I know you had to get out of here at 12:30. It's like we're at time now. But one last thing I just wanted to talk about real quick is Heath Pedigo, you know, the kind of the leader of the Pedigo squad and everything. He recently had to undergo emergency eye surgery. I know this is an issue Heath's kind of dealt with in the past. I remember, I think he was in Spain or something, going to a seminar internationally. He had to have like an emergency surgery. It seems like he's kind of having an issue like that again. There's a GoFundMe set up, so everyone watching, you know, if you're in a position where you can help support Heath, a guy who has supported the jiu-jitsu community so much, like very selfish when it comes to how much he's willing to give and lend support for athletes, fans, everyone, you know, that comes across them, to be honest. If you can give some support, I recommend you check out that GoFundMe. I'll put a link in the description. But I was just wondering, Dante, do you have any info on this? Do you know what's going on with Heath or anything that's going on with this situation?
So actually, you know, 3 years ago when Heath first ran into this issue, it was he and I that were in Spain. And, you know, I woke up one morning, woke up late morning, and sat out by the pool with him at our friend's house, and he's like, man, you know, I got this black cloud that's kind of moving in my eye. I can't see anything over here. And my friend and I told him, you know, you better go get that taken care of. He got a small surgery in Spain, basically to carry him over, and then he got retina reattachment surgery when he got back to the U.S. If anybody knows about retina reattachment surgery, it's literally one of the most major surgeries you can get on your eyes, and it's one of the worst recoveries. You're face down for up to 2 weeks. It's a horrible recovery. It's terrible to deal with, you know, and my heart goes out to Heath if he's going through something like that again. I haven't had a chance to talk to him. I've tried to communicate with him and the people that are close to him in this moment, but you know, if he's got to go through something like that again, I can't even imagine. You know, and the other side of that is if you don't get the surgery done, basically you're blind. So, you know, when your retina detaches, that's basically it. That's a way that a lot of boxers back in the day retired blind. They had retina detachments. A lot of people in the military, from constantly shooting high caliber weapons, from the jarring, a lot of them have retina detachments and ended up ending their careers and eventually went blind. So it's not something to play with. There's a lot of MMA fighters that have had similar things. He's actually had retina repairs to both eyes. He's actually had retina repair surgery on his other eye. It wasn't as major as his one. And he was poked in his bad eye at a seminar and, you know, basically had a small surgery there in Ohio and carried him over. So he's most likely getting a major surgery done today or tomorrow to reattach the retina. But, you know, this is the second time now. This is not it's not a thing to joke about. You know, your eyes are a very sensitive thing. It's a very painful and chaotic recovery, man. You're laying face down. You can't do anything. You're basically laid up for 10 days to 14 days. So, you know, I'm really feeling bad. I really hope that the community can pull together for him, as well as us in the associations. We've been doing a lot behind the scenes already. It's only been a day or two, but, you know, I'm confident that we can get it done for him and we can do what we need to do. But, you know, my heart goes out for him, man. You know, that recovery is no joke.
Yeah, definitely a brutal thing. And, you know, Heath is a dude who deserves the support when he needs it. You know, I don't think he would ever ask for it, to be honest, but I think, you know, the jiu-jitsu community should kind of help step up and help Heath out here when he needs it. But, you know, we appreciate you calling in and everything, Dante. I know you got to get out of here. We're a little over time, but thanks for calling in, dude. Is there anything else you want to say before you go or anything?
I want to thank you guys for having me on, and I appreciate it. I love that you guys are getting involved, filming, keeping up on all the drama in the news before this tournament. I think this tournament is just something that, you know, like I said last year, we're living in the greatest time of jiu-jitsu ever. So, you know, something like this never would happen in any other time. These last 2 years have been monumental for the growth of the sport, and hopefully with all of us on board, we can keep it rolling, we can keep it going, and never forget where we came from.
Awesome. Well, thank you, bro. We're gonna push that skincare routine too. We'll get everybody looking, you know, just buttery as could be at CJI.
Let's go.
All right, bro. We'll let you get off here. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
See you, boys. Take care.
Hey, brother.
It's true that you really can't understate the importance of a good skincare routine in jiu-jitsu, man.
You a big skincare guy too?
Hey, listen, sorry to say, you know, I'll be honest, I am over 30, and it's true. Like, you got to care for your face a little bit there, man. Especially, like, man, like when you train regularly and we all know that moment where you're like, oh, I just rolled my eyeball into a puddle of sweat. Like, there's all kinds of grime on your face, so...
That's true.
Got to do something, y'all. At least wash your face or something.
Yeah. No, I was definitely, when he said, oh, I'm getting some lines up here, I was looking in the mirror the other day, and I was kind of seeing some lines, a couple of gray hairs in the beard. I was like, oh, man.
Not me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm flipping Peter Pan.
Yeah, Peter Pan.
Young as me, bro.
Yeah. Damn, bro. Shout out you guys. Shout out the Peter Pans.
You do look great. You do look great. As long as you don't take too many Zins and look a little yellow.
Yeah, why would we do that?
Reed shaves his beard suddenly. He's telling people he's 21 again.
Yeah. But, you know, shout out Dante for calling in. I am stoked to see the Daisy Fresh squad. I think the Daisy Fresh is always like the people's champ of any event they're in. You know, I know Heath had an interview where he talked about how the combined hometown of all these guys is under 90,000 total, which is pretty nuts. You know, to be from guys from that small.
I do think that there is something too, like, you know, them just being a tight knit team and stuff. It's like, you know, 10th Planet probably has the most experience in these team events, quintet events, and they've done really, really well. And maybe they're not always like on paper the guys to win, but they do have the tightest knit team. And so like when somebody goes out there and submits one of their other guys, like they're a dog on a bone. They're pissed about it, you know?
Best example's got to be Gio against Heisam and Boogie, right? I just think there's like extra motivation and guys understanding like my job right now is to not get submitted. My team needs that.
I need a submission right now.
I need a submission right now.
You know,
It does feel like real, and it's funny because like it's easy to just say like, okay, this is just the modern age of the sport. Like we see this more and more, especially like at IBJJF, where like the teams really do kind of play more culturally like a role. I feel like at those tournaments. And people move teams, and it's like people are thinking of this as a professional sport. You go where you got to be. It's like this is like a shifting thing. But like the teams at these events that do actually stick together, they kind of carry the spirit of what a team event of a sport is supposed to be, which is like
For sure.
those emotional cues. Like they're not really the same if like your teammate is a guy that you don't actually train with. Like the game is there, but like the actual feeling is not quite there.
Yeah, even with the wild card aspect of this, Daisy Fresh and 10th Planet, the only two teams I believe that didn't utilize the wild card now. And I did see Craig was teasing because he opened it up to now 2 wild cards per team, and he announced that a team it hasn't came out who yet, but a team has decided to use their second wild card spot. So somebody might be getting another big name in the mix there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, which should be cool to
somebody's
see.
Gonna be out though.
I guess
I think
so.
somebody might be dropping from one of the
somebody's
bigger
pulling out.
teams, and there's some wheels in motion.
Gotcha.
Let's see.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that'd be cool.
No, it's definitely awesome to see, like, just hearing Dante talk about that. He's kind of an old man in the sport, veteran in the sport. He has been around for a long
Forever.
time, and,
sure.
and it's like you said, in jiu-jitsu years, it's kind of ancient. But yeah, I remember watching him like brown belt at IBJJF Worlds fighting like Hugo Marks and stuff like that, I believe.
What year was that, you think?
Like 2012, 2013.
No, not that long ago. Yeah, but it was probably 2016, 2017.
It was still in the flow era, right?
Yeah, yeah. But so he was in a gi guy. I don't see him in the gi too often these days. Much more of a no gi competitor, obviously. But
Imagine Dante just comes back to the gi out of nowhere.
that'd be sick.
That'd be so sick.
It's cool too that he is looking for that Philippe Pinna match. Huh?
That's a great match.
That was a sick one for him to call out. It is
Yeah.
that, and to be honest, like we've been talking like a little peek behind the curtain here at FloGrappling's content meetings, but like we've been trying to think about like, man, how do we talk about all the potential crazy matches? And it is hard just because there's so many aspects, so many different variables for how this could play out. Because
So many big names, you know what I mean? Like, okay, Felipe Pena versus Dante is amazing. What about like Victor Hugo versus Jacob Couch? Just pull 2 random names.
Yeah.
Like, that match rules too. I really want to see that
100%, I mean, we could see Diego Pato versus Mika. Like, it's like there's just like Giancarlo versus any of these guys. It's like there are just so many different aspects. We don't know which teams are going to get matched up first, what order they're going to send their guy out, So Quintet really is, like the Quintet style is such a question mark, And it is going to be electric in that Royal Rumble style where it's just like the music hits and it's like, oh, shit, dude, Dante just submitted this guy and now they're sending out Kynan. Like, now Dante has to fight Kynan, like something like that. Like, that is going to be electric. Pretty excited for that.
They get to choose in the moment who they send?
I think
so, yeah.
They will
After
likely
each
have
match,
like
they can consult and decide,
Yeah, I believe and I think that's what Craig talked about, right? To kind of keep that such an electric moment where it's like they're going to be like backstage behind the video board or something, and it's just like the music hits and then that guy gets sent out. So that is going to be pretty awesome, CGI
It'll be
too.
a sick live show. It'll be a sick live show for sure.
But what else is going on? Is there anything else we should talk about? What all was in the Grappling Bulletin this week, Joe?
Grappling Bulletin, we talked about EBI is returning, ADCC American Nationals went down. There was an update on the trial of Leandro Lowe. Corey Stockton, make sure to cover all that. We have that linked up in there. Jason Nolf got his blue belt. A lot of solid enough stuff happening around the world of jiu-jitsu. What do we got up here?
I put the Kingsway opening day video in this like watch guide I made last week for some cool jiu-jitsu videos that I got published over the last week or so, some deep cuts as well. And in that video, Jason Nolf gets promoted, and it's so funny watching Luke and Gordon try to teach him how to tie his belt. It's just like not a good tie, Winning NCAA championships, that's one thing. I know that's really hard to do and whatever, especially to be a multiple-time NCAA champion. But, man, tying that belt, woo, that gets the best of them. But, yeah, so super sick there.
I was watching PGF.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's talk a little PGF.
As well, that Papadelos kid is really killing it.
I feel like we deserve some credit for this
I was
one.
literally about to just say that, please.
Yeah, no, whenever we talked about the original draft, that Papadelos and Landon Elmore both went pretty low. And we said, like, whoa, this is kind of two crazy value picks to go that late. Like, we've said these two dudes might be the two guys who can honestly, like, take over and upset tons of people, especially if they went this low in the draft. And now they're leading the PGF points board right now. So it's kind of like, let's go, baby. We try to put you guys on game. I hope you all ran to your friends and were like, no, dude, these are the two guys who are going to tear it up. Just like take anything we say, act like it's your own opinion, and just act like you're the man. That's what I would do if I was watching. But
yeah, Hafa Fajera kid, I believe.
Yep, that kid's been crushing.
He's been a lot of fun to watch too, for sure. So they've been having some good matches.
It's a season where it's a lot of up-and-comers who all have the biggest opportunity of their career. One of these kids is going to win $20,000. One of these teams is going to win $100,000. And this is more money than any of these people have ever made in grappling, if we're being honest, right? Mm-hmm. And especially with Dominic Mejia coming in, who's a world rank guy at 155 pounds. He was originally supposed to be in the tournament. He declined because he wanted to do AIGA instead. He got pulled onto one of the teams there. Now, because somebody got injured, he was able to slide in, still able to rack up a ton of points, still probably going to be in that top 8, which qualifies for the playoff bracket that's coming up. Jet Thompson's finally heating up. His first couple weeks were rough, and he's been able to really heat up. It is crazy, the weigh-in rule, where they weighed in one time weeks ago for a multiple, like for a 6-week-long season. That's really something. Yeah. So I feel like maybe that was something that like had to do with Jet's slow start, because he's a huge 155. He pulls so much weight to get to 155 pounds. He's like a little bigger than Andrew Tackett the last time I saw him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I feel like maybe that was something to do with that. But yeah, PGF every week, Wednesday nights on YouTube for free. Speaking of YouTube for free, anybody who's watching this, if you want to watch some free jiu-jitsu over the weekend, we had finishers go down. That was pretty cool. Main event, it was a split decision. Title change. This upcoming weekend, Elevate Submission Series, also going free on YouTube. So make sure to watch that. A little free weekend jiu-jitsu. What's not to love, right?
Are you guys hip to this John Wick Invitational going on? We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Try to find this on Instagram. It's Pit Boss Grappling, I think, is the page. Dude, I'm all in on JWI. Listen, I know CJI is going to be huge. I know Masters Worlds, tons of great competitors out there. WNO, yeah, of course it's cool and all. But the John Wick Invitational, bro, this is the most electric thing. Go ahead and show this going on in jiu-jitsu today. These dudes show up. They all have code names and stuff. They show up. It's a formal dress code. It's in like the 3/4 pit, and these dudes show up in suits. They start fighting, and at some point, a weapon can be introduced into the match. So you got dudes just in full suits, just scrapping it out in jiu-jitsu, and then they'll throw down a gun or they'll throw down a knife, and you can try and get the gun or the knife and, in the match there. This John Wick Invitational is electric, bro. Like, I want to go out there. I want to take a match on this. I got a suit. I can get. I got that.
Get a suit.
Yeah, that I can go to Goodwill. I can acquire a suit. Is what I'm saying. It's not too hard. And
what are they shooting at each other?
It's a gun. It's like a self-defense gun.
Airsoft gun.
No, or something. Yeah, it might just be literally like a blank thing.
Or a blank
that kind of
does
it. Go to the. There's one where a dude hits a flying armbar.
You got to be a good sport and be like, okay, you should.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the match is over. So.
Click the next one. There's one of the top ones is like this crazy flying armbar. Yeah, look at this. And if you look in the stands, or in the crowd, everyone in the crowd just dressed to the nines, like they're at a ball or something. This stuff's awesome.
I'm gonna say, if it's come to this in your life, just actually go to that.
That was a dirty.
Yeah,
that was
flying armbar.
He didn't need the gun. Yeah. This is electric, dude. The John Wick Invitational is the coolest thing going on in jiu-jitsu right now, if you ask me.
I don't know.
You're not into it?
I'm not as into it. All I'm imagining right now is this getting shown at somebody's custody hearing or something. You know what I mean? Just like, and this is what you do with your time.
Yeah. Pit Boss Grappling, killer.
Oh, he's got the lapel.
Oh, man, look at him. Oh, but he's got the gun. Put it away,
I
dude.
think the suits are totally fine. The idea that they're introducing a fake gun for you to fake shoot somebody, seek therapy.
It's so funny to me that
talk to somebody.
You have to agree to play nice, right? It takes me back to being a kid where like you'd be playing and it'd be like, no, you missed me, man. You totally missed me.
I was on base.
Dodged it.
I was on base.
I'm dodging it. I'm dodging it. No, I was talking to Reed about this, and I was like, dude, if I got a JWI match and they throw the gun and the other guy gets it, you gotta immediately go like The Rock back in like the 90s.
Please.
Like, no, man, you're better than that. You don't need to use the gun. Your jiu-jitsu's great, man. Just put it down, and hope he puts it down so I can grab it, you know? Freaking maybe put it to my own head, just scare the crowd, be like, what's going on? You know, I don't know.
So
I
I
mean, too much for this podcast, but
Am I allowed to just kick the guy in the nuts?
no
if we're
dude.
like
It's all in good fun. You gotta, you know. you
John
gotta
Wick
put on
would
a show.
never.
Yeah, John Wick would
John
never
Wick
do a
would
low
do it.
blow like
I could
that.
find
I would.
I could
Yeah.
find John Wick kicking a guy. in the nuts.
Pull up the they have a full like
You
card
have to.
graphic.
Do you have to start by ceremonially like killing a stuffed dog of each other? like,
Oh, dude, these are all
Like the
John
South Park
Wicks.
episode.
The bad guys do that part. Go back to their page. There's like a full event graphic. If you scroll down some, where it just has all of their like pictures with the code names.
They have a kids league.
I guess so. Keep going a little more. I think it's that JWI 3 one. Look at this. We had
Oh my God.
Sparrow versus Hildreth up at the top. Litardo versus Hastings. I mean, this is a
Not as many code names as I was expecting.
yeah.
Those might just be their name.
Yeah, that might be their name.
Gentile
Either way, these
versus
guys have
Watson?
sick names then. But yeah, dude, this
Gentile
JW
versus Watson.
Baba Yaga division.
Yeah, it's the Baba Yaga division, dude. That's the pros.
We got to get Taylor Highshaw up on. He's the
I
Baba
like
Yaga, right?
Raj Agi.
All right.
Yeah.
Versus Pimmon.
So, anyways, I think we're covering the wrong stuff, is what I'm saying. I think
JWI power rankings.
Yeah.
We could accommodate that on the site.
Oh, for sure, dude. I'm all in on JWI. This stuff is awesome.
And people have been doing more. Like I sent you guys that video of like jiu-jitsu on like a raft or whatever. Have you guys seen this?
That's in
I think-
Austin.
That's in Austin. Yeah. We gotta swing by there or something sometime. Yeah, these guys are just doing jiu-jitsu up on a little pit. I kind of like that it has almost like a sumo element where like
gotta push
you
them
have
out.
to stay here. You have to be right on this.
Definitely. Yeah, no, because that's what they even say, right? That it's like the best of judo, jiu-jitsu, sumo, and all that stuff. Sometimes in the JWI, I saw some where dudes will like take off their suit jacket and they'll be kind of like using it. So I'm all in on JWI. I love it.
I was watching some Dragon Ball over the weekend, and it is funny how they'll have like, because they're so sumo influenced, being a Japanese thing, that they're like, it is a fight to the death, or if you push the other guy out of bounds. So that's probably an easier way to go about it if we're being honest.
Let's go. Here we got some Keanu Reeves training. Now we're in a good. This is, when Dante said this is the best time ever for jiu-jitsu, I think this is what he was talking about. JWI and Keanu Reeves just throwing dudes.
Keanu
They
Reeves
gotta
working his
get
throws.
Keanu Reeves in the Baba Yaga division, bro. They gotta get him over there.
Don't love the socks.
Yeah.
Take the socks off.
Well,
Eric Moneyberg.
he's preparing for John Wick style.
Keanu rocking that old school hyperfly gi.
Yeah, it's pretty
Do or
sick.
die.
But yeah, I'm all in on JWI. Do you remember what the raft one is called?
I really don't
in
off the top of
Austin?
my head.
Yeah. That one is sick too, though, for sure. The thought of just like throwing someone off into the water is a great thought.
Suddenly
Yeah.
added.
Big Dan getting on there just sinks.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's the stuff we got
That's
going
what's going on in jiu-jitsu anyway. So,
But yeah, go to JWI and tell them Trey needs a match. leave a comment and say, yo, you got to get Trey on here. But
You're the only one on there with a code name, like the time we went to that burger restaurant.
oh gosh.
Should we tell that story? Should we tell that story?
Nah. Codename Nighthawk. But the burger restaurant did us dirty, dude. There's a burger restaurant in Vegas that you can.
They know what they did.
You can spin a wheel and pick like dirty names, and I thought you had to, and then just everyone after me didn't. So I just had this disgusting name that they called out, and everyone else was like Steve. I was like, all right, well I wouldn't have opted in if I knew that it was an
I
option.
thought it was like part
Yeah.
not everybody was doing it.
Yeah, just absolutely owned me, but whatever, But yeah, you guys got anything else? Anything else going on?
heating up for Masters Worlds. The Masters Worlds registration, Slack, I don't know if we get onto that article maybe.
Yeah.
But there's a ton of really good people in there for that. Really excited for that. But Beto Oliveira, world champ, adult world champ, going for the Masters World title. Jackson Nagai, Fionn Davies, also adult world champions who were entered in. Cool to see all of them. Cool to see Fionn back in the gi. And then somebody I'm really excited to see is Julio Cesar, the head of GF team, the sergeant at arms there. Will be taking the mats. I believe he is the first 8th degree black belt to be competing at the Masters World Championship. That's always, anytime you see history like that, it's always going to be an awesome thing to see somebody who's been around that long, been that involved for so long, produced so many great champions like GF team has. I'm definitely excited to see that.
Yeah, I mean, the Masters Worlds is pretty stacked. There's a lot of adult world champions in on this Masters World. Obviously, Fionn going to be there. That's probably one of the ones athletes
Ferris.
I'm most excited to see. Yeah, Babeto's in there. Jackson Nagai. Then Ferris is going to be in the mix. Tamiris Aquino. Tayani, you know, so Masters World is going to be pretty sick this year for sure. Masters 2, Peter Frank. Peter Frank, probably the most exciting Masters competitor in the world, I would say.
AJ Agazarm.
And he's in the same
AJ
division as
Masters
AJ
too.
Agazarm, yeah.
Yeah.
Same division.
So probably going to see that.
Josh Hinger.
I'm just waiting to tune into Master 6 Black Belt to watch Megaton
Yeah.
Diaz.
Yeah.
Well, this guy, man, Megaton, man.
Yeah.
This guy right here, Megaton, dude. He's going to kill everybody, man. And if not, he'll get him in the parking lot, you know? But yeah, Master World's going to be sick. So excited for that one. Excited for CJI. Excited for the next John Wick Invitational.
Here we go.
All the important events, all the major events going down soon, you know. But yeah, I guess that's that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed hearing from Dante Leon. Let us know in the comments if you guys got some big matchups you're looking forward to at CJI or Masters World or John Wick Invitational. And I guess we'll see you all in the next episode.